I'm in Venice. So this is the second time my girlfriend and I have been away this year. The first time was at New Year's. We went back to Cyprus, which is where she's from. So I guess this is the first proper holiday that we've been on this year. We're here for about 4 days over the bank holiday Easter weekend, which I think is plenty of time to explore Venice from what we've been told. So we arrived yesterday night, and so today was our first proper day. And to be honest, it started off so bad because when we woke up, it was just pouring down with rain. And I think the weather forecast said it wasn't going to start raining until around 4 or 5 p.m. But after breakfast, we just decided, you know what, we'll just go into Venice and see what happens. So we got there, it was like windy, it was raining, it was like grey skies. God, what is this weather? We have left the rainy UK weather and now we have come to the Italy's rainy weather. But yeah, we just kind of like walked around. It was quite nice, to be honest, like despite it being super bad weather. But I think at around 11:30 or so, we were just like, let's just go to a restaurant and just get something to eat really quickly. I mean, we ate at like 10 a.m, but because it was so bad, we were like, okay, let's just go in there. Hopefully the rain will stop by the time we finish eating. The food was pretty good. Had spaghetti bolognese. Classic. I mean, you probably see me eat the pasta bolognese in London all the time, and I come here and I'm just eating the same thing. So after lunch, we decided we'll try and get to the main part of Venice. We actually stay outside of Venice and we get the bus into Venice, and it drops us off at the train station. So I think the main part is about 20-25 minute walk from the station. We were kind of still at the beginning bit because we didn't really get to that far because we ended up stopping off for lunch. So then we kind of just walked into the main bit. We saw the I can't remember what the bridge is called, the famous bridge, Rialto Bridge, and then we come back down. I think we just ended up just walking through loads of different alleyways, and then we ended up at St. Mark's Square. And then there was actually quite a lot of flooding that happened because of the rain. And I saw people walking barefoot through the water. It's a bit grim, isn't it? And then, yeah, I think it's just mainly just a lot of walking really, and just seeing cool things. And then after that, we just decided we would stop off for dinner as well. And then this time, I didn't get spaghetti bolognese. I actually got a risotto, a seafood risotto, which was pretty nice. And then, yeah, so then that's it. Back home in the hotel. We're staying at the Hilton. Yeah, I think hopefully tomorrow it should be a bit of more of a nicer day. Hopefully there'll be some blue skies as well, so I can get a bit more content and a bit nicer footage as well. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I thought I'd do a quick little room tour for you guys. As we enter the room, the bed is literally in front of us here. And then we've got a little hanging space for our clothes over there and a desk. So a very, very standard room. This door doesn't really close that well. I literally have to shut it like this. There we go. So yeah, this bed isn't very feng shui at all. And if you haven't seen the Mr. Feng Shui man, you would know that this bed isn't in the command position. And, there's a lot of energy coming through the door behind me. But yeah, anyway, very standard room to be honest. The bathroom's actually quite big. If I turn this on, hello everybody. If you turn to the side, we've got a nice big shower in here. Got a normal toilet and a bidet, which I haven't actually had the pleasure of using yet, but it is something that I do want to try out. So I will let you know how my experience is if you guys want to know. Then we have a nice mirror. Hello there again. and then just your standard sink. Okay, so we've just got off one stop before Burano, just because we just didn't really want to stay on the ferry much longer, because this whole journey's taken around 3 hours to get here, so we thought we would walk to Burano. I'm pretty tired as well. The ferry's actually quite relaxing, so I kind of fell asleep quite a few times on the way here, so I think the first stop will be to go and get coffee. So we just sat down for food. We were very lucky that the restaurant allowed us to come in because they close at 3 and it's now 3:10. Burano's pretty nice so far. A lot of colourful buildings, which I think is what it's famous for, and I believe it's also a fishing village as well. So we ordered a risotto with seafood, so hopefully that'll be pretty nice. Yes guys, we're at the gym hitting a late night workout to finish off the wonderful day. And I thought I'll share with you a few tips on working out on holiday. And there's a few things that you should keep in mind when you are wanting to train abroad, is that firstly, you're going to be limited with the equipment that you have available. Right now in this gym, we have a cable machine, dumbbells that go up to 22.5 kilos. We've got a bench here and a couple of treadmills and a bicycle as well. The second thing to note is that you're probably going to be limited on time. You probably don't want to be doing an hour or 2 hour session whilst you're on holiday. You probably want to be using that time to make use of the whole day and do a lot more sightseeing and all of the activities that you've planned. And the third thing is you're probably going to be doing a lot of moving anyway, with all the activities that you have planned. So a lot of walking. We've been walking around 20,000 steps each day, so my legs are already quite sore already, my feet, my calves, so I don't really train legs when I'm on holiday. So what I normally like to do is just a full upper body circuit. So I just choose about 4 or 5, probably 4 exercises that target the back, chest, shoulders, arms, and I'll do maybe 3 or 4 rounds of that. And whenever I go somewhere, I like to see what equipment I have first. So for example, we've got a pull-up bar there, so I would do pull-ups. Maybe I'll go to an incline dumbbell bench press. The dumbbells only go up to 22.5 kg, but maybe if I do it very slow and controlled, just making it harder for myself, then that would be just as effective. And then maybe I'll do some shoulder work, so I'll be doing some side lateral raises, and then I can finish off with either some biceps or some tricep dips on the bench. And yeah, so I'll just go through all of those exercises without too much rest, and then I'll do that 3 to 4 rounds. And how I would train is that I'll just train for the pump, really. I'm not going to be breaking down so much muscle, especially training with quite lightish weights. But I could still get a pretty decent workout in, you know, especially that I'm not resting too much in between the sets. You know, I'm definitely going to be quite fatigued by the time I finish this workout. Our final day in Venice was filled with random adventures. €2.50 for this big slice of pizza. Not bad. Then we visited a fish market to check out the seafood and watch a lot of gondolas just sail by. And I think it's safe to say that the main word for this trip was gondolas. Later we headed to St. Mark's Square planning to visit the Basilica, but when we got there we were just overwhelmed with so many people and it was just so chaotic. There didn't seem to be much of a queuing system, so we just ended up skipping that. But next door was a palace prison which I really wanted to see. The open bridge behind the bridge going into the prison is called the Bridge of Sighs, and legend has it that when prisoners would walk across the bridge, they would look out one last time and sigh as they would see the beauty of Venice before they would be locked away forever. Lastly, we passed by a library that seemed more like an Instagram spot, to be honest, and because the line was just so long and I don't really, read books that much, a sneak peek from my camera of the library was good enough.
Dessa fantasia foi sentimento e a fotografia.
actually quite creepy walking around Venice at night because everything is pitch black and there's just so many dark, very narrow alleyways, and if you come from London, you know when you see a dark alleyway, you just don't want to go down there at all. But here, it's pretty normal. And it also feels like I'm in Pirates of the Caribbean, just walking around, trying to get to my boat.
So the lights are very orange and yellow.
Yeah. There's literally just twists and turns everywhere. But it seems pretty safe, nonetheless. But yeah, this is our last night in Venice. It's been really nice. We saw a Vivaldi concert, which was held in the Church of Vivaldi, which is where he taught for around 40 years, I believe. So it was pretty cool to be in amongst the history, and as a person that has played classical music for pretty much my whole life, I started the piano at 7 years old. It was quite nice to see. So we heard the Vivaldi Four Seasons, which is so good. Never actually heard it being played live before, so it was really nice to see. Hopefully I got some of the footage and hopefully the sound was okay. I wasn't too sure if I could just bring out my big camera, so I took most of it on my iPhone. And now we're just heading back to our hotel room. So it's been a great holiday. So this is the remains of the mosquito that was feasting on us last night. And don't know how I heard it, but I heard this ringing, this noise in my ear, and then I got up immediately and I saw the mosquito above our bed, our headboard, and yeah, just slapped it. So we are heading to visit Burano and Murano, and we're currently on this little boat here. We're gonna go and see Burano first and then head back to Murano, because I think a lot of people are heading to Murano first and then Burano, so we're gonna do it the opposite way, and hopefully that way it'll be less busy. So let's see if we're smart. It's got some normal water. There is some water infused with some fruits like oranges and apples, but I'm not sure how long that's been sitting there for, and it's 1:45, so I'm assuming it's been there for most of the day, so don't want to risk it.
Yeah, just put it on top. Put it on top. I need it.
No, because that was touching the counter though. It's actually a bit inconvenient.
I wouldn't expect it to be
Also, just one more thing, I am very proud of this setup. So I've got this camera in front of me here, and then to the left, I have this light that shines to the side of my face, and then I've put a cup that we have tea and coffee in over it to not make it as harsh,